back. What's good, Kenny?
What's up? What's up? Nothing much, man. Happy it's Friday. Friday. Let's get it. Let's go. How you doing?
Absolutely.
How's your week
I'm
been?
good, man. My week's been good, man. I can't complain that much. What you been up to?
Nothing. Chilling, relaxing, listening to music, cooking, taking it easy. That's pretty much it.
What music you been listening to?
Well, we're gonna get into it a little bit later today. But I listened to the old Kanye, Ye Bully. So that and just like other the new hip hop stuff and songs that came out and everything like that. That's pretty much it. Been chilling, taking it
Yeah,
easy,
yeah,
been
yeah,
green
absolutely.
cleaning for the most part.
Oh, absolutely. So, I, I set the tank back up. As you can see it
Okay.
there. I put fish in it finally. It's been shut down for the entire year because I've been doing a very long cycle. So that's something I'm gonna start putting video ups again for. So the gaming channel might get a little weird. I don't know, man. I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna, because I want this kind of be like a thing that I show off. I don't know how to
Uh-huh.
like to implement it into the gaming channel, but I don't know. I'll figure something out, man.
Yeah, because those are two vastly different arenas that you're trying to put together. So it'll be interesting to see the least. I mean,
Yeah, like
unless
I
you start
want.
making a tank theme with a cyberpunk theme on your fish tank,
Yeah, that's. I mean, this is
that'll be
gonna be.
interesting.
Yeah, this is kind of gonna be that thing. Night City Vibes is gonna have a retank segment for those who are into reaping and gaming at the same time there. Also, I got to do another review today on the gaming channel, reviewing a few products, and so that's something that's going to happen on the Night City Vibes channel
Okay.
that we're
Okay.
we're dealing with right now. Uh, Outside of that, what's going on weather-wise in out there in the South, buddy?
No, nothing. Well, as you know, spring is here. Pollen is heavy. I've been fighting allergies at the beginning of this week. I've messed around and took two Benadryl. Was all groggy for Monday just because I had came back from Atlanta. My
So
brother's
you're one of
birthday
those
was
rare people that the side effect of Benadryl is sleepiness.
extreme. Well, I took two because I was up in Atlanta for my brother's birthday weekend, and up there they had a lot of rain and stuff too. So their trees were really pollinating, kicking the pollen all off. So we was outside moving about and stuff. So my allergies was whipping my butt. When I came back home down to Savannah, then I took two
Mm-hmm.
Benadryl, and then I did that on Sunday night because we get off the. I think it was a mix between the travel and then getting back. Because then that Monday and that Tuesday, I was all out of whack, and it was like it took a while for it to get out of my system. So that's what was going on.
So Strange Strain is saying that they take a Benadryl whenever they eat something with sesame seeds in it. So they must have like he must have a small allergy or a light allergy to to sesame seeds. I hear a lot of people have those. I don't usually eat sesame seeds though, so I don't know if I even have an allergy
Look, if you
to
go to
that. But
McDonald's, you get the sesame seed bun. You know what's up.
I don't eat hamburgers though, so.
I'm just saying if you did, so that would make sense. That would make
It's
sense.
funny because when I was little, my mom used to make these really good burgers, but now I don't. He said it came out of nowhere too. It's funny. There's a lot
That's
of
how
people
allergies
have
work.
that happen where they get these allergies that just come out of nowhere. What happens is that due to environmental, our constitution to the environment around us, we can become sensitive over time to certain things too. Also, if we don't eat a lot of something, like we'll eat it when we're young, and we don't eat it as we're adult, we can actually build up an allergy to it. And a lot of
Yeah,
food already has that ability to cause a little bit of that histamine response inside of us. It's just based on human condition itself. But if you don't eat peanuts for many, many years, you can end up with a peanut allergy. Actually, people sometimes end up with a peanut allergy, even though they may have eaten peanuts when they were young. 30 years later, they have a peanut allergy. It's our bodies is weird. Uh,
yeah. That's why
it's
they call
not.
it practicing medicine.
Yeah, exactly. And like Dr. Bach used to say, he says it's the dose. It's not the poison. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
Yeah.
always the dose.
No, that's true with anything, with any medication, anything you take. If it's in small enough doses, it may not affect you. But then if the dose
Yep.
is just high enough, you're gonna get a reaction from it. And that includes water. Most people don't believe it, but you can drink too much water and end up
Oh
messing yourself
God,
up too.
yes. I remember when I used to go out on long hikes with the Marines, and I would have to get on them because these guys would be overhydrating. I'd be like, yo, chill that shit out, man. I ain't trying to deal with none of the implications of you being overhydrated. I didn't know. Like, if you come to me and your pee completely clear, I'm like, nah, man, you need to go
Yeah.
eat some bullshit and come
Yeah,
back to
no,
me.
that's the honest truth though. Go eat some bullshit. Go eat some sunflower seeds. Go eat a bunch of chips. You need to
Go
get
eat
you an
some
electrolyte
bullshit,
snack
come back,
balance.
man.
Yeah, that's
Yo,
true. That
your
part is
urine way
horribly
too
true.
clear for this hike. I was that dude. I'd be like, hey, I need to see your pee, man. I see this dude walking around with a big old jug. I'm like, hey, man, I know it's crazy, but I need you to pee in this cup. Oh, I don't need no test. I'm like, this ain't a test, dude. This is a visualization. That shit come out super clear. I'm like, hey, man, I'm just gonna leave you back here to do some cleaning. We don't need you here today, dog. You
Yeah.
overhydrated.
Nah, then the other side is too doing work in a lab when you get a specimen that is like the color of like liquor, brown liquor. You're like, dude, you need to drink water. When the last time you drank some water?
No, that's. See, I didn't even have to do. I didn't even look at that. I said, if you can smell it, if you go to the bathroom and your shit stink, drinks, you need to fluidize up, bro. So that was. You don't need to tell me. You smell that? You ain't ready for this hike.
So yeah, those are
You
the
ain't
things
ready
that
for
you
this
have to
hike.
deal with. So, all right, you want to get into it?
Yeah, let's get right into it. So there's a, starting out, there was an earthquake in Myanmar, and there's a concern of massive loss of life. It was a
Yeah.
7.7 magnitude earthquake that hit central Myanmar, and I don't know a lot about the region, but I know that it's a place stricken with absurd amount of poverty and economic inequality. And so we have to assume, based on those conditions, that the homes and the places they lived in weren't up to code. That's why we have code in the United States. I always get so I always laugh. I don't get annoyed, but I laugh when people complain about all the codes that California has. And I'm like, there's a reason for every one of those codes. Because somebody did something stupid and we had to make a code saying, well, now you can't do that because the common sense wasn't used. You
Yeah.
know? Unfortunately, this is not the same in Myanmar, government wise and regional wise, and because of global economics and global economics and politics. This area deals with a lot of economic uncertainty, and it's also a hotbed for earthquakes. So we're praying for the people in that region. I don't know if there's a clear number of lost land. I know that we're in the early moments of
Early
this
stages.
earthquake that happened early today.
Yeah. So the article that I had read, pretty much some of the significant information. There was a second earthquake also after the first one, and that second one was a 6.4 that hit. The
Jeez.
tremors were felt all the way in the southwest of China and Thailand. A high-rise building in Bangkok did collapse, and 81
Oh
construction
damn.
workers are currently missing from around that building collapse. Also, uh, the second earthquake was a 6.4. It struck 12 minutes after the first one, and residents in Yangon expressed concerns about the aftershocks because once you get one earthquake, then you're gonna get the little extra aftershocks and tremors
Mm-hmm.
and everything. Living in California, we experienced it. We know what
Yeah.
was going on with that.
Every
Um,
day.
yeah, and most of the buildings in Bangkok, like you said, they're not with code, so they're not really built to withstand such a significant earthquake. In addition to like the way that their whole infrastructure for their cities and everything is set up. But yeah, since this happened in Myanmar, but this was as you can see on the map right there, it had a nice big impact on that whole region. So hopefully everybody's out there is okay and safe, and hopefully the rescue efforts are good and nobody else gets hurt or injured during the rescue efforts.
Yeah, it's another tragic situation there where, uh, I mean, nature happens,
Yeah,
and
unfortunately.
This
Just like
is
a
why
policy.
FEMA in the United States is so important. With Trump and these idiots running around trying to deconstruct bureaucracy. There's a reason why bureaucracy is so important. Like a piece of paper is very important. Like documenting things, if it isn't documented, it didn't happen. Right? We have
Yeah,
this
that's
rule in the
true.
military. If you didn't
Extremely.
document, you didn't do it.
Yeah.
And so the reason why bureaucracy is so important, all these pieces of paper, is because when moments like this happens, you have the ability to react in a effective and ethical way. Paperwork keeps you honest. And FEMA is very important, and it's just we're minutes from our next tragedy in the United States. We really are, and we're not ready because we have idiots like Donald Trump trying to tear apart things that are important to the American people so he can save money for billionaires. He ain't thinking about you. He's thinking about billionaires and trillionaires and disenfranchising the American people. And I'm telling y'all need to get violent because this is they're trying to compromise your lives. They're putting your life in danger, and that's crazy. But I ain't gonna harp on that too much. In other news, we got something exciting that should be happening in the next couple of days.
Well, they're still trying to calculate exactly when this is going to happen exactly. So this is known as the Corona Borealis, the TCrB, also known as the Blaze Star. It's predicted potentially erupt very soon, possibly between now and September, coming up in time frame. But they're basing this on the last time they seen this happen, which was back in 1946. So it's going to be basically a star is going to blow up, become a supernova. There's only been 10 known occurrences in the Milky Way that the scientists, the astronomers have witnessed and seen. But the most recent, the most documented was the one that was back in 1946. So if you got a telescope, and you want to see some cool stuff, I don't know if a home telescope would be able to actually see it, or you may see remnants of it, but there'll be something kind of cool to look up at the night sky and see and witness, because this doesn't happen that often. I mean, from the documented history of humanity, 10 times, and the most documented was 1946. If you get a chance to see something like this, if people care, it'll be something cool to tell and talk about. Or if you do have access to a nice, like, what is it, the SETI telescope or something like that, you can get a good tour, and then you might be able to see something cooler. But I just
Or
found
make a
this a
trip
good
up there to
article.
the Getty. Go check out the Getty.
Yeah, if you can make a trip up there and they are allowing you to set up, and depending on where you are, you got to make sure you don't got a lot of residual city light or anything like that.
Yeah.
You may be able to see something. So that's kind of interesting. But it was one of the weird science things that always come across my timeline when I see this stuff. So I'm always getting weird stuff about space. So that's where I got this
Yeah,
from.
I wonder if I'll be able to capture that. I mean, it's been very rainy here in Southern California, and it's
Ooh.
been very gray. I mean, I don't think it's been a clear day, like completely clear, no clouds in the sky day in probably weeks. And it's pretty cloudy today. Hopefully it clears up because I would hate for it to happen today and I'm not be able to look up and see it.
Well,
But we'll,
that's the thing. So if you're curious, the person that's really tracking this close, his name is Bob King. So if you are on X, Twitter, or you have access to kind of track what Bob King is saying, he's the one that probably will be the saying, "Hey, it's about to happen, y'all." And he'll be the Chicken Little for the sky is falling. So you may want to try to track him down and see what he's posting on. I'm assuming social media or any news outlets and anything if you're trying to really catch it, because it's no telling when it's going to happen between now and September. So
So Bob King is his name, right?
yeah, he's the scientist that's basically keeping close watch on what this is doing and documenting all the things of it. And I'm guessing they're doing this because they want to be able to compare the previous one to this one, see if there's any significant differences or changes. Because believe it or not, if there's another star closer to us than the sun and it does something like this, we probably want to be aware. I mean, we're just on this little rock floating around in space, and things can happen. So, like you said, Mother Nature, the Earth, the universe, anything can go on.
Well, we're lucky that our sun will never supernova. It's not that type of sun. It's not the ones that have that experience. Our sun will just get larger and larger and then turn into, I believe, a white dwarf. But we'll be gone long before that happens. We'll never experience that. Mankind will either moved on to a new, neck of our woods, or we will long be gone. Um, but no, it's always exciting. I love looking up at the sky. I love the stars. It's a very cool thing. I've hoped to see something like that in my life because it's not even a once in a lifetime experience. It's once in many generations experience. Now,
Yes. Yep.
1946, or you said 1846 or 1946?
1946 was the most documented occurrence that the scientists basically have.
Okay. So somebody might get to see this twice in their lifetime, but usually you won't even see this in your lifetime. Your kids may never experience a supernova in their lifetime. It's always generations and generations. I know that there was a supernova, I want to say, in the early odds of humanity, which was captured by our ancestors, and it was one of the most documented experiences, and you could actually see it in the naked sky. I don't know if this will be one of those, but I do know that the expectation for Beetlejuice is that it's going to be one that you can look up and see in the night sky. Now, is Beetlejuice going to supernova? And it's definitely been going through some jittery experiences in the last 20, 30, 40 years with its brightness going up and down, being inconsistent. And there's maybe an expectation that Beetlejuice will supernova, maybe even in our lifetime, or that Beetlejuice is already supernova and we haven't seen it yet. So, and it's possible same thing with this star. This star could have gone supernova hundreds of years ago, and we're about to experience it now. I'm not the one to speak on physics. That guy is Neil deGrasse Tyson, and I'm sure there's a video that we can throw in the comment section. I mean, in the discussion area for others to follow from Neil deGrasse Tyson speaking on this subject in particular. With that said, let's jump into some music. And can you tell me what you thought about Kanye's new album?
Actually, I liked it. Be honest with you, I listened to it. You had sent me the link. Well, yesterday, the day before yesterday, I took the time. I put it on, listened to it. What I got from it, from my feeling, this would be a studio session. Like, I think if you was with Kanye and he said, "Hey, come to the studio with me." This album is that. It has a lot of, to me, experimental sounds. It has some fully crafted songs, and then it's a lot of beats and everything. He is
Mm-hmm.
rapping on it. I think that I don't know if he's wanting to go back to a certain rap style because it had very nostalgic feelings of that, like younger Kanye to me. But overall, I ain't gonna lie, I liked it. There was no song on there particularly that really stood out to me overall, but it wasn't bad. It was very much. I had the feeling like if I was sitting in the studio with him, he's like, "Hey, listen to this track, listen to this beat," because it doesn't have a good flow. It's not flowy. It doesn't seem like a real put together project. It just sounds like a bunch of songs that are extremely well and very creative and very, laid out with a nice audio landscape, but it's not coherent. And none of the songs are like really in depth about anything overall either. It's just, but he is flowing, he's rapping, but it's not like, to me, I don't think he came in with this like, I am making this Bully a project. I think it was like, I got all these tracks, let me just put them together and put something out, especially with all the crazy shit that he's doing right now across social media anyway. That's kind of the feeling I got for it. But I will be honest, I liked it. It wasn't bad to me.
My opinion, I just didn't give a fuck.
Okay.
Like, for the
Okay.
first time ever, no, like, it wasn't a bad album. It's just, what's your point?
Well, and that's the
What's your
thing.
point?
I
The
don't think
album's
he
called
actually has a
Bully.
point.
The album's called Bully. So I'm thinking, oh, maybe this is where Kanye West exposes the heel turn. Like, this has been all this bullshit that he's been doing is to show like some commentary on society, some long running commentary on society, and he releases Bully to expose America. And what did he do? This is bullshit. There's nothing. What's bully?
Nah,
What is bully? The album
no, and
isn't.
that's the
The
whole
album
thing.
isn't bully.
It's just a title. But no,
It's,
this
it's a it's
me
a title
listening
for
to
it's a pointless title. Like if
well,
I dropped an album called My Heart and then I never talked about anything of substance, what did I drop?
well, and that's the unfortunateness of Kanye at this moment in time. I do not think listening to this, I really do think he just wanted to put something out and he just took a bunch of tracks and songs and beats he had and just put it together, gave
You
it a
know what this
title, and just
is?
put it out.
This is like Disney just doing films. So they say they did the film. Like they do a film to keep the IP, but there's no heart or love in it. You know, like there's no there's not like I feel like a lot of films that Disney and other companies, Sony's perfect for this. Not even Disney. Sony's a perfect example. All the Spider-Man films that
Mhm.
have no, they're disjointed. All the Venom films don't really mean anything.
Mhm.
All these side characters that are
Oh,
related to Spider-Man have no point. This album, all these albums that Kanye West has dropped have been meaningless.
well, I wouldn't say that because Vultures to me was a project. That made sense. That was him working with Ty Dolla $ign. That was a project, and it sounds like it was a project. This just does not sound like it to me.
All
This
right,
sounds like if you were just sitting in the
what do
studio and he's
vultures
just
do,
putting.
Kenny?
What do you
If
mean?
I said I'm dropping an album called Vultures, what do you think that album's about?
See, I don't approach it that way, but I would assume he's talking about and because the word with vulture is always culture vulture. I would assume that it's somewhere along the lines of some describing something along that. But with that, I think the problem sometimes is we're basing it off of the old Kanye West compared to basing it off of who Ye is. Kanye West would make College Dropout, College Drop, Late Registration. Those were projects. They had a theme. It explained stuff, and that was all good. As we got into the Ye being of Kanye West, it's not none of that anymore. I mean, the samples that he picked, the way he put the music together, you could tell his musical genius is there, and it's laid out. His good his slightly above par rapping ability was on this album, but this album was not nothing. It wasn't a story, it wasn't a book, it wasn't an opus, it was none of that. It was just a bunch of songs, beats, and stuff put together with nothing. There's nothing that stood out to me like, oh, this sounded like it would have been a single, or no, it was just music. It's just music. And so if you're looking at it for to have a meaning or some type of revelation or something, no, it is not this. And I told you, like, I felt like it was just I was sitting in the studio with Kanye. He's like, hey, listen to this, listen to this. Oh, this is what I was gonna spit on this and play this beat. And that's what it feels like you were just sitting next to him and he's like just running through his hard drive or just sharing some music and stuff with you. That's what it feels like. So that's why I'm like, I was even looking to see like he has a song with the sample says bully in it, but it's just like it's a long beat sample. And it's good, it's dope, but it's nothing at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's my whole point.
But
This is a nothing.
are we
This is
expecting or looking for him to do something
I
as
look. I'm not telling you that your album needs to represent something I wanted to represent.
Mhm.
Right? What I'm saying is the best art has direction, has a pursuit, understands itself, is mindful. Kanye West is none of those things. You know, Kanye West isn't mindful. He's not. He doesn't have direction.
Yes.
He's. I mean,
Well,
he's mindless. And so, to
well,
me, this album is meaningless. Like, if you're gonna say, look, all right, perfect. If you're gonna be like, Israel is this, and this is that, and that is that, then your album needs to speak on that. I don't agree with nothing you say. I think Kanye West is a kook. I think Kanye West is trash. I ain't. I'm not getting up for Kanye West. I'm not checking for Kanye West. I'm not checking for Drake. I'm not checking for Diddy. You know what I'm saying? There's certain people I just don't give a about, right? But if you're gonna do an album and you're gonna say I stand for these things, and then you drop an album like this that is
Well,
wandering and
that's
lost and and and
but
listless.
let me say this though, in comparison to this is just musical Kanye West to me. This has because I was expecting to hear him say something off the wall, something controversial. No, this is just beats and rhymes, and
You know,
musical
I'll give
landscape.
you that.
So
That was the
I
one.
was like, hmm.
See, that's my point. It's all a show. I've realized that Kanye West
Wait, which side
just
is the
wants
show?
attention like a little baby.
So is
He
it?
just wants attention. I'm not going to give it to him. And that was my whole point. Like, I was listening to it, and I was like, all right, you're going to spend your energy in the world talking crazy, but then you get on this album, and it's like, okay, you know what it is? It's like when a white person talk crazy on the internet, but in a room full of black people and they silent. Kanye West had the whole world who can listen to his album, and
Mhm.
what did he do? He don't say nothing crazy.
Yeah,
Why?
that was the one part that kind of threw me. I'm like, I'm
That don't
expecting
make
him
no
to
sense
probably
to me.
start because
So
you
then
got
to
to
me,
remember
then, yeah,
too.
you don't really believe these things. You do it for attention, and then you drop an album because you're not good at marketing.
So let me ask you this: who is the more authentic person? Is it the music Kanye West who made this album, or is it the social media in front of the camera, yay, that with all the antics?
I don't think Kanye West in any way can be considered authentic. I don't
On what
think
side though? On what on his?
I don't think either side of this thing is an authentic representation of Kanye West. I don't I think Kanye West is like the Joker. And you know,
Wow, the Joker.
no, really, deep down inside, I've realized that Kanye West has turned into the Joker. He thinks that all this, like, I think he thinks that we're in a simulation and that there are no ramifications for their actions. I think that's what the Joker felt like. I think the Joker felt like the world is all this bullshit, and so just do bullshit. Don't have any morals, don't have any values, don't have any direction, or is he the voice of America right now? Like of Americans, they just like Kanye West. No morals, no ethics, no standards. They don't believe anything. They don't stand for anything. They just make a lot of noise.
Okay,
Because that's what I
but
got from this
then
album.
I guess because I would say this is one of the first times in my mind I'm actually doing the thing where most people always have a tendency to do, as in separate the person from the music. Because I really went into this expecting, all right, this shit gonna be some crazy ass shit. I don't know what the fuck he gonna say, but it was none of that. I was like, this is not bad, and he's not saying anything crazy. Can I separate the crazy yay from when he actually does good music still, or do I have to keep them mixed together? Because the title, I'm like, oh, bully, what are you gonna talk about? I'm expecting something. I expected something. Nothing. Pretty just. I would
Or
put this
maybe
one.
you're right. He called the album Bully. I come to the album expecting him to say something,
Yeah, I
and he
did,
says nothing
and it's
at
good,
all.
and it's good.
I won't say it's good.
Okay, you don't have to say
I'm
it's
not
to
gonna
me.
say
It was
this
good.
album is good because it's just it's a hodgepodge of shit.
But
There's
I
no good
remember,
here. It's
look at it like
nothingness.
this. But keep it like this. If you listen to this again, put it in your mind like you're just sitting in the studio with him and he's just happy to show you his artistic ability with music. That's what it felt like to me. I'm telling you, when I listen to this, I'm like, all right, so there's no rhyme or reason. Got it. But beats are good. The rhymes are good. But it's just all this stuff put together. But I'm like, this would feel like if I was at a studio session with somebody. Because I've been in situations like this at a studio session with a beat maker, at a studio session with a rapper, and they just be playing everything just to get a feedback from you. And that's what this feels like to me. So this is something that I would play again. I would put it on in the background while I'm like cleaning, cooking, or something like that. Or I could vibe if I had a long drive. I could vibe to this. But I was heavily surprised that there was
said
nothing
that
crazy.
Bully makes sense. So what did the if you listen to the album Strange, uh, what was your favorite songs, or what did bully mean to you? Because it doesn't. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me because if I'm saying I'm a bully, like if 50 Cent dropped an album called Bully, you know what's coming, right? Like if 50 Cent dropped an album called Bully, you know what's coming, right?
Was that to me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but 50%, 50%, 50 Cent persona and the way he goes about things could be very much considered a bully. Like even me personally, I do consider 50 Cent a very strategic bully.
I do too. I think
And
he's a
I
bully. I
don't
think
front
he's
about that. He
no.
50
So to
Cent
me,
is
when
a
I hear the word bully, I just had expectation. But then
I
also,
mean,
like, I've been off Kanye. I've been off Kanye for so long that kid could kiss my, and I just wouldn't turn around and look at him. You know what I'm saying? Like
okay.
I wouldn't even look him in his face because he's such a shitty person. And then when you talked
Look,
about the ability to, or can you separate the artist from the music? And I
yeah.
think as not as that wall between the artist and the person becomes less and less. And I think with the internet and today, by the fact that we have social media and these idiots are just shooting their shit off on social media, there's less space between I can love the art and not the artist. And I think that's where the problem is. Because if I knew him personally, I wouldn't be friends with him. And he doesn't believe in the things that I believe in. Like the one thing I truly believe in is called simple this. Mind your fucking business. Like just mind your fucking business. Take care. Like your box is the only thing that you need to be concerned about. Don't be worried about what your neighbor's doing. Don't be in a shit. Don't be, what I'm saying? Like, and that mentality that somehow you have more rights than someone else. And Kanye West believes deep down inside that he has more rights than the average person. Therein lies the conflict. Because we have a lot of people who are running around talking like him. And we cannot say that that's okay. Like we can't turn a naked eye, and we can't say, well, you can love their art, but you can't. You gotta the person's separate. Well, that's how they make their money.
Yeah,
Their
but
money is influence.
if it gets to making the money, then it gets complicated with that. But I did find that this was, and I said only because based on the title, based on my assumption, based on his current antics, I did come into this album expecting to hear certain things, and none of it was. If it was there, it was like 1% there, because I think he does have one bar where he starts talking about they're trying to take the things from you and you got to protect them, and it was just like a very small little couple of bars he said about something that would have been like, oh, that's, but then that was like the only thing out of the whole, what, how long, it's like 23 minutes in length for
Yeah,
the
it's
like
not very long. I mean,
yeah,
can you count? First things first. Can we call this an album? This is more like an EP. It's like a
yeah.
30-minute thing. It's like
Mhm.
back in the day, I went and got remix albums that were longer than this. All right,
Yeah,
I had like 12 remixes of Sophie thing. You know what I'm saying? So like, there's no way I could call this an album. This is a you know what this is? This is when you're about to make an album and you got all these reference tracks and you send it to like the record execs to like pick their favorite, what they think they would like, put it in the order. Pick your
yeah,
first, like pick their first 6 songs. And everybody picks them in the order, and then the artist gets it back, and they sit around and they decide whether or not any of these songs are going to make the album. This isn't an album. These is beats. Matter of fact, you know what this is, Kenny? This is him sending reference tracks to a different artist. So I'm putting an album together, and he puts together 30 minutes of work, and then he sends it to me. You know what I'm
But
saying? Like
I mean,
that's what
I
this
see the
was.
comparison what you're making it to, but this is his work. I just still feel like this is just if you was kicking it with him and he was in the studio, this is all the stuff he would play that he thinks this is like cool shit for him, and he plays it. And so I mean, it's not bad. One thing that I did notice that I don't understand why they think it's so weird. Releasing the album directly on YouTube is nothing new. People been
No,
doing it. People make careers off of just doing that because it
they
cuts out
do.
somewhat of the middleman of the distribution company and everything. And especially if you own your all of your own stuff, it makes sense. If you don't want to go, but Kanye West has always been one of them people that's always trying to innovate a certain way to release his music, from just doing the stem tracks to just this right here to the other time he had it where you had to go directly to his website, which this one too, the actual press vinyl and CDs, you only can buy it directly through his website. So I mean that part makes sense. So that was one of the big things when I was kind of skimming across articles to see what they were saying about it. They're like, yeah, it's amazing that like there's full-blown artists that make full careers off of just releasing their actual albums on YouTube. So that's not abnormal. I think
Yeah.
maybe if you just if you are strictly on the record business company and think from their perspective, you think it's kind of weird, but no, it's not. You cut out everything else. You're gonna get all your money from YouTube, just like if you had a YouTube channel. Music has high replay value compared to a YouTube video. Like one of my favorite artists, Don Tripp, all his music is basically released directly on YouTube. He puts out, and he does a clip of work. He puts out probably like album every quarter, and then he would drive probably towards the end of the quarter he'll drop a deluxe, which is just the same album with a couple of new songs on it. Then by that next quarter he's releasing a whole nother album. But he's basically, if you really want to say it, he's a YouTube rapper, surprisingly enough to put it that way. But
Yeah, I
releasing
don't think
music works that
anybody.
way.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of artists that dropped that there. Now, Strange told me to read his comments. So I'm gonna read his comments because, out of due respect to our great supporter here, he says people always gonna think something. People always gonna say something. But of course, people always are going to say something. They're always gonna have an opinion about it. And now, I got some more. He says I'm a bully to Kanye West. I can't bully Kanye West. I mean, Kanye West don't even know that I exist. He don't even give two shits about me. You know, like I can't hurt Kanye West's feelings. You know, I mean, I don't even think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I couldn't hurt his feelings. You know, there's nothing I can say that where he does not care what I think. I don't think he cares what anyone thinks. He says he came after your mind, Darrell. He knows you are expecting something. That's the bully. Of
What is
course.
that statement? Were you expecting something to be a bully from the album? Be honest,
So
because I was. If I'm honest, I was.
what I expected, I didn't expect him to attack people, but I did expect him to talk about his experience of being bullied.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that this album was going to be his album. Like he's going to talk about how, whether overtly or vaguely, his last couple years, his experiences, how it's affected him, his mental health, all of these things. I thought this was going to be like an introspective album. Not one that he's like, oh, he's going to attack Jews, or he's going to attack this person, or he's going to go after Taylor Swift. That's so lame. I wasn't expecting that, and I don't want him to do that. But I thought this was going to be, with all the bullshit that Kanye West, all right, for instance, Kanye West's level of bullshit this year is up here. But his talent has been here. You see what I'm saying? Usually, when his bullshit's here, Kenny, his talent is up here. So it's like, okay, so what is he saying? That he's bigger than society? But no, now he'll say something like Jews are dumb, 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 which is so stupid to be obsessed with them. And then he'll drop this album that's a wandering nonsense. This is when I know that you just bullshit. You aren't, your talent isn't good enough, so you don't have to do this. I don't think Kanye West really believes the things he says. But he's looked at YouTube, and he's surrounded by yes men. And so if you lived in the world of YouTube and yes men and Twitter, and so then if no one's telling you to shut the fuck up, you say stupid stuff, but your talent right here, he ain't talented enough to this. So what's he
I
do? He
still think
goes
he's
up
talented
here,
enough.
he goes up here, and he says things like, I want to hang out with Diddy, but I'm gonna do the Super Bowl. Kanye, you ain't never gonna be at the Super Bowl. No. You're not even gonna be at the Kitty Bowl. Ever. You done. Your talent ain't here.
No, see,
Do
I
you
still
know what
disagree. I
you'd
think his
have to
talent is
do?
still there. I feel
No.
that Kanye West's talent is still there. It's just
You
covered up
think
with
his
all the
talent,
crazy stuff he
so you
does.
think his talent's so good it can overcome the shit he said?
No, not that. And that's why I
That's
said
what I mean.
this
That's
is
what,
the
no, 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 no.
time that
That's
I'm
what I
trying to
mean
figure
now.
out. Wait, say
Kanye
it
West
again.
is immensely talented.
Mm-hmm.
But he ain't so talented that he can do this. He's not Michelangelo. He's not Miles Davis. We thought he was. We gave him the energy that he was. But Kanye West is still, music has left, and Kanye West used to be the reason why music moved. But the music has moved on from Kanye West, and Kanye West is, you know what Kanye West is? You know how I realized that I was an old man, Kenny. I realized that just
You
recently.
said you realized
Like,
you was the old man.
I might not look it, but I realized I'm an old man because I was like, the music I listen to is over 20 years old, and even though I think it's hot, that's not what music is. So I went to my son and I got a playlist from him. I started listening to the newer music, and I realized like a whole world of music has happened. And
Yes.
Kanye West has not been the reason why it happened. And in years past, Kanye West was. You know what Kanye West is like? He's an old school dude trying to be new school, but he got old man tendencies. And you know, old man tendencies are just to talk out your ass and say crazy. Just say the things you think, but you shouldn't
Now,
be saying it.
I disagree with that statement because Kanye West music is still good. It's still relevant. It still
I didn't
has
say it
that
wasn't. Hold on,
feeling
let me
to it.
stop you. I
What?
didn't say it wasn't still good. I wouldn't even say it's still not relevant. It's of course it's relevant because it's one of the stars in a room full of music. But you know what it used to be? It used to be it used to be the Beyonce star in music. It's a lot bigger than everybody else's. It used to be the Lady Gaga star. It's a lot bigger than everyone else's star around them, right? Same thing with Taylor Swift. Same thing with Jay-Z. Their stars are bigger than Nas. Even though Nas might not be the number one rap artist, his star is bigger than all these other rap artists because of his influence. Kanye West's star is small. The number of artists he influences today that will actually do music with him is tiny. Dude, Young Thug ain't jumping on a Kanye West song today. You know why? Because Kanye West is too toxic for Young Thug.
Well,
Young
we
Thug, let
don't
me
know
just
that.
stop you.
We don't know. I
Young
don't know that. I
Thug,
can't say that I know that. I just know the thing with Kanye West music is different because it's always been moving, it's always been changing. And yes, there is a whole new world of music out there, but also you got to take into account that Kanye West did step back away from music, trying to focus on all kinds of other things, fashion and all this other stuff. But then music, no, wait, hold
I
on.
don't give a
Music
fuck
kept
about
going,
that.
and then
You a
the whole
genius.
vibe of music, particularly with hip hop type music, because I'm not going to say it's always fully hip hop, but that type of music, it changed and went a different way. There's so much of a
I'm
vast
sorry.
difference between what's going on now. What's going on?
I got to bring up Strange. So Strange said, spoken like a true bully behind their back. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you talking about? I got a YouTube channel. It's not behind his back. I posted it online. Now, if Kanye West somehow comes across this, I'm putting it out there. Like, I'm your op. I think you're a bad person. I don't think you're a good person. And because I don't think you're a good person, and I think that because we are further in time where now I have access to your brain dumps, and your brain dumps are absolutely awful, I think you're a shitty person. Therefore, I think your art is shitty. Like,
Okay.
I take the feeling you give me by your personality, and I place that feeling I have on the person that you give me on your art. Now, if you, Kenny, are a cook, you make steaks. You make the best steaks in the world, Kenny. But if you serve them on a trash can lid, it's the presentation. Is the steak still good? I bet you it tastes good as hell. Is that trash can lid clean? I guarantee it is because you keep a clean kitchen. But is that how it's presented?
No, and that's a good analogy. That analogy stands. It makes a lot of sense. I can fuck with that one. But that's kind of the thing. That's why I said this is kind of the first time that I really had like with R. Kelly. I'm like, I throw all of it away. R. Kelly, I'm like,
Yep.
throw it all away. That was easy. Uh, Diddy, I really wasn't ever a fan of Diddy himself, but
Never
then I know
was.
he put a lot of the artists that I like on, but then he already did them dirty too. But no, I'm keeping the artists, the music that yes, it was produced by him, but Diddy, he can go to the side too. Kanye West, even with
Yep.
all the crazy stuff, I was like, all right, knowing that I know Kanye West is kind of messed up, but this is not bad. Do I want to think how messed up he is? But then it was like there's such a weird divide between the way this sounds compared to what he's acting. And that's what's like, uh, uh. And that's the first time that I had to be like, I can't just throw it all away because this is not bad, but he is over there acting the ass.
All right. So devil's advocate.
Devil's advocate, let's go.
Let's go. Kanye West has a mental confusion.
Well,
There's moments where
that's
he's
always
in.
been the thing that's been
There's moments
diagnosed.
where he's in the studio, and he's on one side of that confusion. Let's argue that when he came up with the name Bully, he was on this side of the confusion where he's angry and hateful. But then when it came time to get into the studio, we got regular, non-volatile, probably on some kind of medication Kanye West, where the album is disjointed and it's all over the place, but Kanye West probably was always like that on all his albums, and it was the other producers around him that reined it in and pulled it together. Like you used to tell me, don't edit your own music. So once you create a track,
Mhm.
hand that track to someone else and let them edit it, because what you think sounds great probably doesn't sound that great to an open group of people, right? So let them edit it up and change it. Don't ever edit your own music. And probably why Kanye West probably shouldn't edit his own shit. And when I mean edit it, I mean like finalize your album. Like sit back and go, this track, that track, this track, that track. You need someone to go, hey dog, I'm pulling this track. We can use it for something else. I love you, but this track ain't gonna work. It doesn't make sense on this album. As much as you want it, I'll fight you on it, right? Kanye West ain't got no one around him that does that. So you got a guy who's got mental confusion, broken man. Maybe after his mother's death, he has lost his mind. The man is insane,
And
clinically
that
insane.
that is
Clinically.
where this
Like
all
it,
kind of stemmed from. I mean, it was one thing to be arrogant. It was one thing to consider yourself a genius. It's another thing for people to praise you as a genius. But then at breaking point, and we bring this up every time, when his mom passed away at a cause of him, in a sense, because he's the one that was paying for her plastic surgery. Then it seems like ever since that point, that's when all these craziness things starts to happen and all this wild stuff. But it goes back to, in my opinion, it's strictly my opinion, being the only child, being praised for being a genius, making it big, doing everything you wanted to do, having the music landscape at your fingertips, then talking about manifesting who you're gonna get with, and then you do get with, and you have kids. So yeah, then all of a sudden the world around you gets shattered because you're one quote unquote, like if you ever watch that documentary on Netflix about it, that is very, very good. The one dude that followed him around and documented who like his whole thing. It's a very good documentary on Kanye West. But
yeah, I
it
saw that. Yeah, I
hmm?
watched it on Netflix. Yeah, I
Yeah, I think it was
really
on Netflix.
enjoyed it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I watched it.
So,
It was
but if
enjoyable. I
you
watched it.
think that all of a sudden when that one piece fell off that one piece broke and his mother passed away, then he may be, and I will go back and say, yeah, your thing with the Joker could be like, yeah, what he sees for his reality is not what we all see for our reality of him. Then he can go into his happy place, make good music, But then he'll go back out into the reality that he lives, and he says like, "Fuck it, I can do anything I want." Because when has anybody ever stopped me? That would be the problem.
So if I'm gonna be as kind as I can be,
Okay.
if Kanye West, first things first, when I use this term, is not to say that to attack a group of people. Okay, if Kanye West was able to create the music he created, but he had Down syndrome, and so he had these moments where he was acting. No, not even Down syndrome. Change it. Kanye West is Kanye West, but he has Tourette's. So he says crazy stuff like this, like the N word, or something racist towards Jews, or my Jewish brothers and sisters, something like that. Do we still react like this if he has that kind of mental conflict?
If he is already proven that he is capable of it, I still think we would, because there's always been the things that he's bipolar and all that stuff, and he doesn't want to take his medication and everything. And I mean, even with the same thing,
No. If his problem was called Tourette's and not bipolar disorder, would we be attacking him for the crazy stuff he says?
If it was Tourette's, no, I don't think we would. I don't think we would.
Right now, you could argue that that kind of mental issue that Kanye West has elevates the imbalance that leads you to say the things that he says, due to the lack of emotional stability that comes with a stable life. When you, it's true. If you are a stable, healthy person, you do not have racist, bigoted views. This is a fact, 100% true. If you are a emotionally stable, well-minded person, you're not going to be racist, you're not going to be bigoted, you're not going to be homophobic, you're not going to be sexist, you're not going to be transphobic. You are a balanced, well-thought-out intellectual. You don't have these issues. Most people are not that. Most people are on one end or the other end. Now, bipolar disorder pushes you towards one end of that spectrum, where you have these issues, where you speak out crazy, when you talk crazy, where you act crazy, where you treat people with issues and you disrespect them, where you are irritable, where you're emotionally unstable, you have these outbursts. Bipolar disorder leads you to this behavior. Are we being unfair to Kanye West when we see him consistently show the signs and symptoms of bipolar disorder, yet we react to his insanity, which is he's got an extreme form of bipolar disorder? Is he truly liable for his actions?
So, if that is the question that you're posing to me, if I take away just my regular person, just listening and watching and seeing what's going on, and I revert back to any of my medical training, then I would say no, because we know that there's something going on. Now, medical me aside, I'm still saying, nah, that motherfucker got something going on and he needs to get under control. And somebody around him needs to tell him to stop that shit. Because it's one thing to have a mental health disorder. It's another thing to have a mental health disorder with nobody to even tell you to help you along when you're having that bad day, that rough day or whatever. And it's another thing to have access to all these things of the world, particularly platforms, and a bullhorn to say the things that somebody could say, oh, you look like you might be wanting to say something today. Hey, just tell it to me. You don't need to tweet it out. You don't need to go on TV. You don't need to, do all these things, because you got some stuff that, hey, this may not function well with the rest of society as a whole. I'm here to tell you that as your quote unquote caretaker. And I'm going to veer off a little bit real quick. I'm dealing with two people in my family right now at this current time that are basically doing the same things. When I'm not there or I'm not saying anything directly to them, they are kind of off the rails. But when I'm there and I'm tell me about it, what's going on, this is why this is that, they kind of narrow back in, get grounded again, and get focused. But soon as that is over, and I'm thinking, all right, cool, y'all got this, leave it in the hands of every other day people, every other day family members.
Here, he disappeared. I hope everything's okay. Oh, there he is, coming back. Woo! There he is. We got him back. Yay! Kenny's back in the house. You disappeared.
I did?
Yeah, dude, you were gone.
Oh, my bad. Oh, but I knew. I just went to the whole thing about, if I look at it from the one side, yes, he does have something going on, and there needs to be somebody there or something there, something in place to keep him within the rails. But because of who he is, he probably is surrounded by yes men. He has more authority across anybody that he probably interacts with based upon who he is. So they're going to let him kind of just do whatever, and there's never going to be that stop. So the question you asked, I said, me being a regular person right now, nah, he on some fuck shit sometimes. Majority of the time.
I mean, that's how I feel about Kanye West right now.
In the playing video room now.
There we go. I'll fix it. There we go. So, like I was saying, I want to be kind. And if Kanye West truly has bipolar disorder, I don't know if I can truly hold him accountable for the things he says. The things that he says is horrible and ugly and terrible. But so are the things that people say who have Tourette's and other mental disorders. It's horrible. It's ugly. It's disturbing. It's terrible. They are irritable people. They need medication to help stabilize them. We need to do a better job in mental health. We need to do a better job at understanding the brain and the effects of the environment and how this environment has influenced us and how this environment has corrupted and compromised our bodies due to the fact of the pollutants and the stuff that we're putting around us, right? It's in the food, it's in the water, it's in the air, it's in the politics, it's in how we socialize, it's how we communicate. All these things can lead to these corruptions and issues within a person's body that then display themselves as disorders that are found in, in medicine. With that being said, I don't know what to do with Kanye West, man. Just like I don't know how to do with with a whole part of society that is so dysfunctional. You want to reject them and you want to kick them out. You don't want anything to do with them. At the same time, if a person is sick and they're saying I'm sick, and you're not showing them kindness, then what kind of person are you being, right?
There you go. And what I always say, when people are in groups, the majority of the group is generally going to dictate what's going on. The only problem is that it's majority of us that say, hey, this dude is acting weird, and he could be doing a silent cry for help, but also he knows that if he does that, his ability to do whatever he wants to do is also going to be hindered. So he can have a more than just a mental health issue. It could be also an internal conflict with him.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking what's going on with Kanye West. Because now if I'm going to be a person coming from a medicinal perspective, I gotta say we're not treating Kanye West with the kindness that we've shown to Brad Pitt, that we've shown to Johnny Depp, that we've shown to. I don't think Woody Allen is a good person. I think he's a terrible person for marrying his adopted daughter. I think that kind of behavior is disgusting and ancestral, and it should be. It's abhorrent. But there are people out there who find some way to forgive him and find some level of kindness. Yet it's Kanye West. We see him truly being sick. Like no one acts like Kanye West who's in their right state of mind, because that's not how we act in society. So we know he's sick. He's showing the signs and symptoms of being sick, and he's receiving zero kindness. So that would only make him even more sick.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where we are with Kanye West. Maybe we're making Kanye West worse, but not actually showing any level of kindness or sympathy or empathy for his sickness. With that said, I'm going to jump to our very last thing, SnowWhite. I mean, when we're talking about society and made up outrage, nothing says made up outrage by two white women and by one white woman not being white enough. And them finding any reason in the world to complain about a Disney film and white people just being just seasonally in their caring stage. I think whiteness has reached its caring stage and is endemic to America. And so to complain about anything, they complain about it. This film is not for them. Kenny, I'm going to tell you a story. I was sitting on the couch after realizing I'm an old man, watching a movie with my girl. And 99% of the time, as the old man I am, I'm like, why are you writing it like this? Why are they scared of this? Why are they scared? These things seem absurd to be scared of. Like, I come from the generation where we're scared of aliens, monsters, ghouls. We're not scared of the world. We're not scared of the stuff in our neighborhood. We're not scared of our neighbor. I'm not scared of my neighbor. I hang out with my neighbor. I play with my neighbor. We have sleepovers with the neighbor. Why would I be scared of my neighbor? You can't make a movie scared of my neighbor. That makes sense. When we play hide and go seek, we have an entire neighborhood playing hide and go seek. I don't think people, I grew up in Ohio where my mom and my dad and my friends' moms and dads and my friends' moms and dads all play hide and go seek with us. And there would be a long line of people on a chain to the hiding spot. So one person would be at the hiding spot and the other person would be holding their hands so you would have access to the hiding spot. When we would play hide and go seek, it would be an entire neighborhood. You would be looking at other people's backyards for people playing hide and go seek. Right? So you can't make a movie in my neighborhood scary to me. But you know what you could make scary? Is an alien or monsters. That's what's scary to me. Today, what scares our kids who are watching stuff is science. But not in the way you think of science. In the way that there's this expectation that if there's a 99.9% chance of a good outcome, and I'm that 0.1% chance, you lied to me. I can't trust science. It's because we've taught them, they're so in tune with the stats and statistics. When you end up being that 1%, you are that outlier. Then you're not just at risk of 100% death, but you're at risk of 100% dislocation from the society around you for which you're already a stranger in. And their films are made around that, right? So when Disney is releasing films today, we got a person who watched SnowWhite on VHS critiquing 2025 SnowWhite. That's written for a whole generation of people that you aren't even connected to anymore. You don't listen to their music. You don't live in their world. You overstand their world in a way that you are so arrogant, their existence is meaningless to you. You don't work with them because you work from home now. So you never engage with this generation of people. So you have no idea what they want to see. And so when Disney sees them walking into the door of Disney, they're seeing princesses that don't look like blonde-haired, blue-eyed girls. You know what princesses they're seeing? Little black princesses, little Asian princesses, little Arab princesses, little Somalian princesses, Nigerian, every little country you can call up with. That's what they see walking through their doors. Disney's thinking about building their next Disney place, their Disneyland, not in the UK, not in Asia. It's going to be in Africa somewhere. That's where the next Disneyland's gonna be. You think the world looks like you, but the world doesn't. And so you complain about a Snow White that looks a little bit not like you. These are two white women. One of them looks a little bit not like you. The other one's Jewish. We got to complain about it.
I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get
You
it.
see my point? You see how absurd?
Look, I didn't know why this was on
never
here.
Been more fragile. Being white has never been more fragile than today. Like, whiteness is the most fragile you can be. If you claim to be white, you're literally saying, I am so fragile that a woman who looks a little bit not white, a little bit not white, sends me down the fucking tubes. Kenny, the flowing shores, please take it.
Look, I didn't know why this was on here. I just knew this movie had recently came out. I'm like, wait, this is going to theaters. I don't think it's on any streaming service or platform. So I didn't know where you were going to go with this. But to me, I'm looking at the image that's on screen. They look like white people to me. I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, if anything, maybe Latino somewhere, something. But hey, it doesn't look. They're not Afrocentric looking to me. They're not Arabic looking to me. They're not Asian looking to me. So I'll put them in that close default of they're probably white, Hispanic, don't know. But it's fine. I don't understand what the whole issue is with this. That if somebody really thinks that this image of scene or the characters, the actresses that are playing the Wicked Witch in Snow White, I think it's the Wicked Witch or whatever she is, the mom or whatever. Dude, it's a Disney movie. I mean, I wouldn't have any issue. I would look at this and not think twice about it. I'm like, all right, cool. They make it Snow White. That's
bro,
it.
Bro, I'm telling you, this is that whiteness has never been more fragile. Like, there is nothing softer than the concept of whiteness. When you are this fragile, bro, I can't. I don't got anything, man. I said what I had to say. I think this is the epitome where we are at this level. We cannot. We lack kindness.
So, let me ask you this, and I know we're cutting it close on time. What exactly was the major?
I'm here for it.
What was exactly the major complaint that you witnessed that they had about this? Was it literally just the actresses that they got to portray the roles?
Here's the thing about this new fragility of whiteness. It's the most dishonest of all fragility. You know, I liked whiteness when it was explicit about it was just honest about itself. Now it's this is not my Disney. This is not. I don't like live action Disney. I don't like this type of Disney. I don't like the wokeness, and that's the part where they're like, I don't. There's nothing black here. So what's woke?
That would be my question. And I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with this to say anything in particular because I'm like, what is the? That's why I said, what was the specific complaint or issue of concern? Yes, it is not your Disney. Disney's been around forever. Disney has forever been changing. So, all right, Disney has Marvel in it. So
you said something brilliant right there. This isn't even your Disney. Because if I want to talk about my grandmother's Disney, they playing minstrel cartoons. You're saying, do I want that, Dennis? I want that Disney? What's next? You want to go back to the minstrel Disney where big lip black characters with red rosy lips and big old eyes and big teeth? What are we doing here?
No, and that's what I'm confused. Like I haven't seen anything. When I was skimming around with this because I was looking it up, the only thing I came across was they were concerned whether or not this is going to be a scary Snow White to its PG-13 rating. That's the only thing I really came across. I didn't see any significant outrage about that.
We need to go back to that. We need to go back to the scary Disney TV shows and cartoons. We need to go back to people are way too fragile. Way too fragile. You know, all these little white kids whose parents were helicopter parents have turned into adults and they're terrible people. Oh my gosh, when little Billy couldn't come outside and play, I didn't know that he was going to turn into a soft, puffy dude who was upset because the little, almost not white looking chick on a Disney cartoon that you were never going to watch, that was never made for you, would get your little testicles in such a tizzy. I didn't know that, Billy. I didn't know it. I would have protested more to get you to come outside and play with the rest of us real boys who were playing in the fields, climbing trees, building tree houses, fishing, hiking, digging holes, while you were in the
I
house
have
being helicopter parented.
but this is the problem. You just kind of described it. If they were helicopter parent and they kept their kid inside, that probably was the reason, though. So you are a product of your environment. If your environment was like, "Hey, everybody out there is different from you. They're dangerous. They're scary. They're bad,"
Bro,
or whatever.
you know what whiteness is? Whiteness is turned into being a bubble person, running around a bubble trying not to touch nothing. Oh, I don't want to get none of that blackness on. I don't want none of that magnetism on me. Ooh, that's some Colombian over there. I gotta stay in my white bubble.
Stupid.
That's some crazy shit to be that fragile. I ain't never heard of people that fragile in my life. The white bubble people. Woo, that's
All right.
what whiteness is. I'm gonna put a flag with a white person in a bubble, and they all gonna understand what that means. Y'all need your own country where y'all just bump into each other in bubbles.
Okay.
Anyway, with that
Okay.
said, like, share, subscribe, people. We thank you for coming to the show today. We talked about the earthquake in Myanmar, the
The
hopefully what
star
we
that's
ever
gonna go
see.
to Corona Borealis.
Absolutely, we talked about Bully. Kenny liked it. I didn't give a fuck about it, but Kenny exposed something about me. I lacked empathy for a person who was sick. And if I truly am a good person, I can't hold Kanye West to the same standards that I would hold an Elon Musk or a Donald Trump to. They are horrible people. Kanye West is a sick person. We should treat him as such. Maybe we need to have a discussion about how is Kanye West different and his mental illness being played out in front of us, and our inability to show empathy and love for a sick person, leading to his delirium and causing him to lose his mind. With that says a different show. And Kenny, take us out on SnowWhite.
Yeah, so Snow White's in theaters. It came in theaters on the 21st of March. So if y'all want to go see that, go check it out. They said it's kind of scary a little bit for the kids, PG-13. With that being said, shout out to anybody that tuned in. Shout out to anybody over on Twitch. Some about anybody that's over on Facebook. And also shout out to Strange, anybody that came through on Kick. Also, our home platform is YouTube. Go over there, give us a follow, give us a like. We're trying to get this channel back up and rolling. We are here every Friday around 11:30 Eastern Standard Time, 9:30 Pacific Standard Time. And with that being said, thank y'all for tuning in. Greatly appreciate it. Hit that like button. Talk to y'all later.
Peace.